We is live. Okay, I'm gonna wait about 2 more minutes so that a little bit of people trickle in. As soon as you trickle in, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments. Drop a 1 or a 2 in the comments so let me know that you can hear the audio. That way let me know that the audio is good. Perfect. Got everybody trickling in. Once again, I'm gonna wait about 2 more minutes. Let a little bit more people trickle in, that way I can go ahead and start answering some questions for you all. All right, let's see. Damn, bro, y'all already tripping? No, this ain't pre-recorded. Oh man, this is funny. We about to have some fun tonight. Oh, this is gonna be good. But I will post this live. So I remember I got some DMs from people saying that they won't be able to join. So let me go ahead and make this post or this comment. People, and I'm gonna make this an interactive live. So I might bring on some people who might have some questions, because that'd be a lot better too. And then I can also ask questions, interact with you face to face, and then also see what kind of questions you got and help you out way better than that. Okay. So, all right, 7 o'clock. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm about to go over how to get your first credit card. So this live is pretty much some feedback from the live I did with my brother, okay, about how he got that $25,000 credit card at such a young age. Now, what I will go over is like some questions I had got in my DM, which was how do you get a credit card at 17 or 18? How do you get a credit card whenever you're still in high school? How do you start building credit? And also, like, if you got something negative on your credit, how do you fix your credit? Stuff like that. So I want to go over like a few disclaimers first. So number one, I'm just some dude on the internet, okay? And also, most of the things I might tell you is a lot of things that your parents is going to think is bad, especially when it comes to credit and debt. But for me, I mean, it's the same things that I had learned, I won't say learned, same things that I was told or taught whenever I was growing up too, but I always knew that there was something different, okay? But rich people don't trade time for money. Remember that. And also, wealthy people use debt to become rich and stay wealthy. Because you use debt, you pay no taxes. But that's a whole nother conversation, okay? Now, when it comes to building credit, you most definitely, depending on how old you are, is going to have to use your friends or family who have good credit. And if they don't have good credit and you can't leverage it, that's okay. What you can do is start getting like some secured cards and things of that nature in order to start building your credit, and then you can graduate to the unsecured card stuff. Okay, so I'm not a CPA, attorney, tax advisor, none of that. Just some random guy on the internet, and I don't have nothing to sell you, not to you all whatsoever. So I won't be pitching nothing on this live, so don't worry about that. Free game and help, that's what I'm here about. Okay, especially when it comes to kids, because I look at y'all like my brothers. All right. So you all can also just go ahead and start dropping comment, like questions that you have, random specific questions you have, like what's going on in your life and stuff like that. You can go ahead and drop that in the comments, and as I see it, I'll answer it. And no, I'm not in Minnesota. I'm from Mississippi. But I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, actually in Greenville, Texas, which is like an hour outside of Dallas. Okay. So go ahead and tell y'all a little bit about me, that way you know who I am and like what exactly I do. So on the internet, right? So I own JMS Consulting Firm. So we help business owners and people learn how to master credit, and then instead of having credit master them. And we also teach people how to utilize it and structure the credit profile in order to bootstrap their businesses and scale and get by getting credit financing, by leveraging credit, pretty much. Okay. But for this live, we won't go on none of that and talk about that. I'm also a software engineer. Grew up really not having no form of financial literacy, but credit was something that always excited me. I had my first credit card when I was in college, actually, not from the advice I got from my mama and daddy or parents, nothing like that. Right now, I kind of teach other people in my family how to leverage credit and like build it and things of that nature. So all this was self-taught by either time, me paying a lot of money, and things of that nature. Okay, but let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First question I see right now: 21 no credit history. How do I move forward? Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and start going over that right now. So let's just say that you just now starting to build credit and credit history. So I'm about to go over. I must first start off with like the 5 basic foundations of credit, okay, and like what builds up your credit profile. And then let's go ahead and separate and talk about what the different scoring models is. Cause I know a lot of y'all grew up like me, okay. I mean, majority of the people on here black. I'm just gonna be straight up and honest, and this is what a lot of people gravitate towards. Somebody that look like you, like me. I grew up in the same situation as you, from the streets, from the hood. I had certain advantages, especially with my grandmama, because if she wasn't alive, I'd be on the streets right now. To be completely honest. But she just provided me like a step forward, saying like, hey, you should be an engineer. So I left that out. I'm a computer engineer as well, but I do that full time. So went to college and did all that stuff. That none of that matters. But I know the background where you came from and like the struggles and all that stuff. And I know that majority of you probably don't have nobody in your family to ask or talk to about credit. So I'm gonna come from the standpoint, you won't learn this from school either. So I must come from the standpoint of teaching you as much as I possibly can. That way you have the right tools. And I'm gonna share this live as well. I'm gonna say it again. That way you can leverage and just come back to this over and over and over again as a good learning point. If this is your first time learning how to do this, of like how to utilize credit and build it properly. Okay. So you keep asking questions. I come back and try to ask them all, answer them. So whenever it comes to building credit, let's say that you don't have no credit history or whatsoever. The basic 5 principles of credit. Well, these are the 5 things that make up your credit profile. You got the payment history, most important. Then credit utilization. Then you got the derogatory marks, like if you got any collections and things like that on your credit report. You had a total number of accounts. You got the average age, and you had a number of inquiries on your credit report. So I'm gonna say it again: payment history, credit utilization, derogatory marks, total number of accounts, the credit age, and the number of inquiries on your credit report. Okay, so whenever you just not building out your credit reports, it really don't matter what. Actually, it do matter. Payment history makes up 35% of your score. So whenever you have a late payment pop up on your credit reports or more than one, it's going to kill your credit score. Okay, because the credit profile was matter. Credit profile makes up your credit score. Then you have credit utilization. So a lot of people that don't have credit cards whatsoever, that's actually killing your credit score. And that's why you don't have a credit score, or why your credit score is not as high as it could be. So like, for example, in credit repair, I have a lot of people in credit repair that don't have any credit cards whatsoever, but they have a few, I won't say a lot, they might have some negative items on their credit reports. So what I do, I tell those people to go and get a secured card, since majority of the time you can't get approved for a credit card because you have negative items on your credit report, and if you apply for them, you're going to get denied. I do that, and they credit score shoot up automatically, immensely. Okay, so that's why. So you do need to have a credit card in order to get the most out of your credit profile. Okay. Then the total number of accounts. The more accounts you have on your credit report, the higher the credit score will be. The reason why it's going to drop down is because the more accounts you have, your average age is going to lower too. So it calculates it. So that's like a lot of people that DM me, I sent you to the average age calculator on my website and on the program and resources, because that category is what a lot of people don't understand, and that'll mess up. Well, actually, it can hurt you and it can help you a lot. That's where the authorized users and trade lines come into play. Okay, then the number of accounts and inquiries, but inquiries are easy to get deleted. Now, let's go into, so now that I went over the basics, so that's how you structure your credit report. Okay, and like somebody want to come on and talk, you can. I'm gonna probably invite you up. Okay, just so you know. I answer all your questions. I see that one. I saw yours too, Shane. Okay, what you think about trade lines? Gotcha. So they play their part. Yeah, you good. They play their role. They play their role. I'll go over all that stuff. So what I was saying, the credit models. So you got different credit models. So majority of the time, whenever you apply for something at the bank, they use the FICO scores. FICO scores. You get your FICO scores either for free. You can get it for free from Experian.com. Sometimes my score IQ, if you get a trial, you can also go to, what was it? My score IQ and something. I'll probably come in. I forgot. Something I could think about it. It's another one. I forgot though. It's on top of my head. But anyways, FICO. The majority of the banks, they put from FICO. Sometimes some housing, when you're trying to get an auto loan, well, not an auto loan, a mortgage, they'll sometimes use a Vantage scoring model. So it's like one of the newer Vantage scoring models that just came out. But this is the base. I'm gonna go that far into it. So you got Vantage score and FICO. Remember that. So if you apply for something, they're gonna get the FICO. They're gonna use the FICO scores. Okay. So Credit Karma is another free thing you can use, but Credit Karma only looks at Equifax and TransUnion. Okay. Credit Karma will allow you to view your Equifax and TransUnion Vantage score. So if you ever apply for something and they say that your scores is different, it's because the banks use FICO, and what you saw on Credit Karma was your Vantage score. That's the main difference, okay? And it's TransUnion and Equifax. Now, with that being said, the scoring models, all that stuff, how you build your credit report from scratch. If you just starting out and you under 18, if you like 16 or 17-ish, 16, 17 years old, you need to be added as an authorized user. Or you can call around like your small local regional areas around your bank, call other banks in your area like credit unions, stuff like that, and see if if they have any credit products that you can apply for at a young age. If you don't have that, what you need to do is see if you can ask any friends or family members to add you as an authorized user on one of their credit cards. Okay? If any one of your friends or family members have a Discover, Chase, Capital One, I'll even say Bank of America credit card, those will report age. Remember I said age is important. So they report the age and the credit utilization and the payment history, all that's going to show up on your credit profile. How is that beneficial? It's going to automatically give you a credit score. Now, the banks will see whenever you apply for something that you add as an authorized user, so the chances of you still getting approved for stuff will be very, very slim unless you have a checking account or a banking history with said bank. All right. Now, with that being said, once you get an authorized user and get as authorized user, if you let it sit for a certain period of time, it can help out too. So, like for example, with my brother, the one that got approved for the $25,000 credit card. I added him as an authorized user to the Discover card and my American Express card. I think they was on there for like a year or two. But I got them into Navy Federal. Okay? So we bank with Navy Federal for, not too long, like a few months. Okay? Now, after that, Navy Federal, well, you probably don't know, Navy Federal has our own internal credit scoring system. So the more products you use over time with Navy Federal, the higher the internal credit score with Navy Federal is going to go. Then I applied. He said he was 17. He probably didn't know how old he was. He was probably 18. I don't freaking remember. But what I did was I applied for a credit card on his behalf, and I know how to do the application, and he got the $25,000 credit card. And I did the same thing for my brother, the other one too. They were both as authorized users, and they had a banking history with Navy Federal. Okay? They did not have their own credit cards whatsoever just yet. But them getting that card started the process of them building credit in their own name. Because you need some accounts in your own name. Now, a lot of you don't have, well, you got me on the internet, but like you can talk to me every single day. A lot of you don't have that system like I gave them. So what you need to do, I'm kind of killing like 3 questions at one time here too, is get a secure card. It is. Getting a secure card is good, and I think I already answered the trade line question too. The trade line serve their role, right? But so a trade line is an authorized user. So a trade line is no. All right. So in credit terms, a typical trade line is any account that's reporting on your credit profile. Whenever you hear trade lines on the internet, though, most people talking about selling trade lines. Selling a trade line or a trade line in general is just getting added as an authorized user on somebody else's credit card. Nothing wrong with that. Because especially you go from friends and family. With your friends and family, you can just ask them to add you as an authorized user on one of the cards. The card will not go to you. It will just go to them, and they'll shred the card. That way you never use it. You're just being used for credit history. Getting it from a friend and family member, you can stay on there forever. Whenever you buy a trade line from a website like Trade Line Supply, because I've done it before too, but I got a more strategic process behind it. Whenever you buy it from one of those websites, you're going to stay on there for like 3 or 4 months, right? So buying one is not useful, especially when you're just starting out building credit. It's you need some secured accounts. Now, this is what you could do. You get a secured card, like from Credit Builder Card, or like go to Capital One and get a secured credit card with Capital One, secured credit card with Discover, or any bank that offers secured credit building products, even credit unions too, but the big bank is better. Get those credit building products, you'll be able to get that. Good, Rich Jimmy Club. You get that, you keep it for like 3 months. If you have the funds, if you don't have friends or family, what you can do next is go and purchase a trade line. And like once that trade line reports the age, you should have a pretty high credit score at that point. Then you can go apply for a credit card. There's some credit cards, like some beginner credit cards, like the Discover It card, and also the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Get a couple one of those, and then keep it, and don't do nothing crazy with it. Okay, so that's how you can just start off building credit right there. And then from there, it's your debt to income ratio is gonna come into play. Now, let's see. Let me answer your question, Shane. I recently raised my debt to credit ratio. Okay, so I have no more debt. Okay, I'm wondering, is my score going to go up from that? How long does it take? So, if you have loans, if you pay off loans, paying off a loan is going to close the account. Your debt to income ratio don't affect your credit score whatsoever. Now, whenever you go to the FICO model and all that stuff, it's going to show like your loan, your debt to income, your loan balance, and like the payments is not ideal, but it's not going to hurt your score that much. What kills your score whenever you pay off debt is whenever the account closes and that account has a lot of age, and your credit score is going to plummet. So you need to offset that age or that closed account with another account, which could be a trade line, but you got to have like a game plan. So I use my credit for like travel hacking. I got like 50 credit cards. I use it for travel hacking, like flying on trips for free, and then also like for business purposes. Okay, my personal credit stays very clean, but on the business side, I carry a lot of balance, but it's for business purposes. And like, how long does it take normally to go up from that? Whenever you pay it off, it don't matter because you got credit cards. Now you pay off a credit card debt, the utilization is going to plummet. The lower the utilization, the higher your credit score. Okay. The trade lines, I kind of went over that a little bit. CPNs, don't do CPNs whatsoever. I don't care what nobody say. People try to. It's too much shit on the internet, man. I don't know. Some people say like CPNs is good for like identity theft and stuff like that, but like, nah. I just stay away from CPNs, bro. But the trade lines are just anything in the kind that reports on your credit report. So, like I was saying, whenever people buy trade lines or sell trade lines, that's where the negativity come into play from there. But it has a role. I buy a trade line whenever I need to boost my average age real quick. So I want to buy an account that has a lot of age, like 30 years of age, but it costs a lot, like $1,000. And then once that reports, then I go for funding. So yeah, Experian pretty legit. Yes, secured cards is very, 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 very good for like the 16, 17-year-olds. You get in Navy Federal if you have a relationship with somebody that's already there. A lot of the hacks that people are doing is playing out. But if you know if you have somebody that's in, I ain't gonna say none of the hacks on this live whatsoever. Cause I don't think they probably work anymore. I had somebody, my daddy, he was in the military. He was a Marine. So I leveraged his DD 251, 241, one of those terms. I leveraged that to get in Navy Federal. I just added my brothers on from there. So if you got somebody in your family, like a sibling or something like that, that is like in the military or was in the military or like a great granddad, something like that, you can call on the phone and tell them that, or just fill out the application online, and then you'll be able to get in. You have your own credit cards and you're an authorized user. Okay, so if you got your own credit cards and you're authorized user, then from there, depending on, all right, so I'm about to go over the responsible way to use credit and risky way. Like if you're trying to do funding and build a business and like use credit to make money. Responsible way is don't apply for too much. First, get your financial situation, your financial habits in order. So what I'm saying by that is knowing how much money you make in a month and knowing how much money is going out of your bank account every single month. Once you got your expenses in order and you can even minimize the expenses, then from there you can put all your spend on your credit cards, and then use the money that you already know that all your bills are going to come in. Use the bills to pay that, and then just use all your income to just pay the credit cards off. You just keep doing that without doing anything ridiculous, okay? So that's the responsible way of doing and handling credit, is using credit cards to pay bills you already have. And you only use a credit card whenever you already got the cash in your bank account to already cover that spend that you were going to use. That's like the responsible way to do it. Now, if you're risky as hell, and you want to travel, hack, and do all that stuff, and build businesses, you need a perfect credit profile. This is what a perfect credit profile looks like. You need 10 accounts, total accounts on your credit reports. You need to have an average age of about 5 years. You need to have ideally 2 inquiries or less, 100% payment history, and like less than 3% credit utilization. That's like a perfect credit profile for funding. Then you just go to all the banks, like American Express, Chase, Bank of America, Capital One. Pull all them up and just apply for all the credit cards at once. Then you have a lot of business credit built up right there. Then you can use the business credit for business. A lot of people don't know how to do business properly, so it's like more riskier than just using it for real estate, so to say. Because if you know how to underwrite, what I would do, I would learn real estate, like how to underwrite a deal, know what the ARV is, your maximum allowable offer, MAO, know the contract process, and then like how to run comps. And then like whenever you get ready to wholesale or fix and flip something, know how much the rehab expenses cost, because you can already get like 80% of the value of the home with a hard money loan. I won't say for a mobile home, but like for some real estate property, you get 80%, and then you use a credit card to fund the rest. If you know the deal is going to make money, you're going to get the return back. That's like the most safest way of doing it. Okay, being an authorized user is real good. You just got to make sure that whenever you become an authorized user on somebody else's card, you need to ensure that their payment history is 100%. Like they don't have any recent late payments, because they're going to show up on your account, and that they keep their credit cards paid down. Because as soon as they max it out, it's going to show up on your credit profile, and it's going to lower your score. So they need to keep theirs as low as possible, utilization as low as possible. All right. Oh man, this shit free. Let's see here. Yeah, Capital One secure right now. I have a nice credit score. ID say ish. I never go for 30%. Yeah, that's good. Keep it below 30%. Yeah. So you know why they say don't go over 30%? The reason why they say that is because if you go to Credit Karma right now on your phone, if you go to Credit Karma, pull up the credit profile, I keep on changing you in the Equifax. You go down to credit utilization, and if you click on one of those infographics, it's gonna give you a range, like what's good, bad, great, or excellent, or fair. Less than 30% is the fair category, and then like if it's at 0 to like 10, it's excellent. Anything over 30% is gonna become bad. That's why they say stay below 30%, because once you go over 30%, it's gonna become like good or bad. Okay, but if you keep it at 0 and always paid off, you're gonna always have great credit utilization, which is gonna give you even better credit. What should we never do with a credit card? Oh man, you should never spend on a credit card whenever you can't make the payment, or put my or like whenever you're anticipating a paycheck to come in and you go ahead and buy something in advance. Never do that, because especially whenever you just start off building credit, you want to build good habits. It's real hard to break a bad habit, and I'm telling you from experience right now. So you want to make sure you always have money in your bank account to always pay your credit card, whatever spend you put on it. So like what I used to do now when I was first starting off, I had a Discover It credit card with a $500 limit. That was my first credit card. The only thing I put on that credit card was my phone bill and gas, because that were the only bills that I had at that time. But I always knew that I always had the money in my bank account. So every time I put a spend, whenever I spent money on that card, I immediately paid it off all the time. So that what you should do and never do with a credit card. You discuss it by the fact that you're not making your own money. Why? Never let the account close with debt on it. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Ooh, credit to sub to real estate. Yo, I mean, you don't need to. Cause whenever you take over a property sub two, you don't need to use credit for that. That's the whole point of buying a house sub two. That way you don't need to use your own credit, because you're just taking over the homeowner's mortgage. That's how you buy a house, by using your own credit. The only time you probably need credit is if you're gonna rehab the property, or you might need it for like some down payment somewhere or something like that. I want to go back to what Nathan was saying. You 18, you discuss about the fact you're not making your own money. Uh, yeah, what you mean by that? So why you disgusted by that? I'm talking too much. Why you typing your question? I'll go ahead and answer. Add a remark to what Shane was saying. Yeah, whenever you are closing an account with debt on there, that didn't cry my mind, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people, they close accounts unexpectedly. Now, if you close an account, that's going to kill your age. So let's just say like you miss a credit card payment, for example. You shouldn't close the account as soon as you miss it. You should also never open something that you can't pay. Like, getting a high limit credit card is cool and all, but just because you have a high limit on a credit card, don't mean you're supposed to. Let's say you open up a $10,000 credit card. That don't mean you spend $10,000. Okay, you just spend whenever you can. Whenever you close an account with debt on there, you still owe it. A lot of people might think they don't owe it. So whenever you close the account, you still owe those minimum payments, and if you miss it, it's going to show up the late payments, and it's also going to even go into collections or charge-off status, and you don't want that. Just keep it paid and open. Also, don't open any store cards. Store cards is useless. Whenever you go to like Victoria's Secrets or Goodies or JC Penney's or like Best Buy, things of that nature, like personal credit cards, don't open up any of those, because your personal credit profile is precious. Especially with a lot of the fancy and good credit cards out there, it could potentially mess up your DTI, mess up some like underwriting rules of the banks, and you will also screw up your overall credit profile. And I say store cards are useless because they don't have like any good perks. Just because you're gonna get like a 10% discount, as soon as you open a card, that 10% discount like is minuscule, like over a long period of time. Not really matter. It's always better to like open up cards like Chase, American Express, or something else like that, and then like just utilizing that. Store cards, don't waste your time on those. Like in the beginning, only thing you need is a few credit building products, and like keep those for like 3 months to a year or so. Credit building products like a credit building card, a secured loan like with Self, hell, or even Chime, and like Stellify. I love Stellify. Stellify is something y'all never heard, but I'm a promoter for Stellify. I got the links like on my website on like the resources page. Stellify allows you to report your bills, to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, which is pretty hard to do from like any other accounts. Reporting that is good, especially when you just started out building like your credit profile. I used to do all that in the beginning. Even reporting your rent payments. You can report your rent too. A lot of people don't do that. If your landlord don't already report rent, then you can use like rent reporters or Rental Karma to report it for you. Okay, he just doing all that. How you get credit? Yes, Rental Karma or Rent Reporters. No, I got that on my credit biz guide. So, Glow Money. Now, I think you must have just joined late, bro. So getting credit is pretty much like just depend. Let me ask you. So how old are you right now, Glow Money? Are you 17, 18, or like in your 20s? So I'm gonna answer your question for you. I'm gonna like just give you a plan real quick. 18. So yeah, you can start applying. Do you have so I'm assuming you don't have a credit profile right now, right? See, that's another thing too. A lot of y'all might think you don't have a credit score or credit profile right now, especially if you never checked. But you should most definitely sign up for like free accounts like Experian or Credit Karma, because you might find that you do have a credit score. And I don't wish this on any one of you, but somebody could have used your identity and like mess your credit up without you even knowing it. So it's always good to check your credit profile every single day. Like sign up for the free Experian. Experian shows your free Experian FICO score. Credit Karma shows your free Venture score for Equifax and TransUnion. You can also get your credit reports from annualcreditreport.com like once. Now it's once every week. Used to be once every year. Okay, but go ahead and check to make sure. If you already have, that's great. Okay. Now if you don't have a credit profile at all, you're 18, and let's just say that you don't have nobody that's in your family or friends that you can ask to be added as an authorized user on. What you should do is just get a few credit builder products, like credit builder card, like Self, Chime, or secure cards from Capital One. I say like higher on the priority list is a secure card from a major bank like Capital One, or I got like links that I could share, like affiliate links that I could share, like hey, once you sign up I get paid, but I ain't gonna do that right now. If you wanted to, you can just go to my website. But I do like Stellify a lot. So secure credit cards like with Capital One, Discover, Chase don't have any. Any bank like that or Navy Federal, if you belong to a credit union, you can get added. You can get blah blah blah. You can get added to a secure card from one of the credit unions. But Capital One or Discover, get a secure card from one of them first. And then what you can do is get a secured loan, like with Self. Because a loan and a credit card is going to help out your credit profile a lot. I didn't go over this in the beginning, but you got something called a thin profile and a thick profile. Thin profile is if you don't have a lot of mix of credit. So you might just have like a credit card or just a loan on your credit report. A thick profile is when you have a diverse mix. So the higher your credit score is, the more debt you in. That's how the credit system works, but it's all right. We just finesse the system. Because it's all the game anyway. Play the game, get money. All right. So with the thick profile, they're showing like you got a lot of credit cards, loan, a mortgage, a auto loan, a line of credit. Having like a big diverse mix of credit on your credit profile shows you got a thick credit profile. Okay. So That's why I say get a secured card and like a secured loan. And maybe you can even go a step further and get what else? Yeah, get Stellar 5 because you can report your bills if you have it. If you don't have bills, you don't need it. And you keep those for like 3 months. So the way the secured loan works is in any secured product, you have to put down money. So, damn, bro, I need some water. Talking too much. Sorry, y'all. Throat getting dry. So the money you put down is going to act as your credit balance. And like whenever you go to any of the major banks, whenever you keep using the card for like it's like 6 months or so, after 6 months, they're going to refund you your money. Yeah, I'll go back over it. So with the secured credit cards, let's say you got to put down a minimum of $200 for most. So whenever you put down $200, it's going to add to your credit card limit. That's the way that works. And then once you put that down, it's using your credit card limit. You got to make sure to pay it off every month before the statement closing date. You got the payment date and the statement closing date. The statement closing date is the date that all the banks report your utilization balance to the consumer reporting agencies. Now, you about to learn some advanced stuff because you're on this live with me. I know a lot that a lot of regular people don't know, which is I don't call Experience Equifax and TransUnion a bureau because they're not a bureau. There's only one bureau, and that's the CFPB. Okay? So Experience Equifax and TransUnion was called a Consumer Reporting Agency. So they're a CRA. So if I say that, you know what I'm talking about, especially if you keep following me for a good period of time. So, yeah, they're gonna report the balance on the statement closing date to the Experience Equifax and TransUnion. So keep the credit cards paid off. It's all you can do is put down $200. I say that too because if you leave a balance for like $100 on a $200 credit limit, your credit score is going to plummet because it's going to say you got 50% utilization. So make sure you keep it paid off, like your statement, bills, and dates, stuff like that. So anytime, all secured products is going to be refunded to you after like a period of time when the bank reevaluates your stuff. So secured credit cards, secured loans, and what else I was saying? Stellar 5. Oh yeah, I answered your question. Still grinding. The last thing I said to get was Stellar 5. That's something that I am going to promote because it's real good. Because there isn't a lot of products out there that report your bills to Experience Equifax and TransUnion. Stellar 5 is on my website. So if you click the link in my bio, the Linktree link, you click on the first thing on there that says more about me and go to my website, carrotshandshelby.com. And once you go there, you go to resources. You scroll down and say somewhere about reporting bills or something like that. You click that one, it'll take you to Stellar 5. And it's affordable. It's like the cheapest plan like $5 a month. The one above that's like I think $10 to $15 a month. But I know everybody's budget is different. So once you can afford it and add it in, it's very, very good. Especially, and like all these things I'm saying right now is more short term. So the secured cards and the credit builder products, you get those to build your credit profile. And then once you keep it for a few months, you're going to apply for what's called an unsecured card. A unsecured card is something that you can go and apply for. They're going to run your credit. You don't have to put nothing down as collateral. So collateral is like, so you got something important that a bank will deem valuable, which is normally like a house or a car, something like that. You got to put that up, that way they can give you some money. That's what collateral is. Unsecured means you got to put nothing up, and they just grant you a line of credit. So once you get that, like one unsecured card, you can consider closing like any one of the other credit accounts. The secured loan is going to be closed anyway because the loan, if you put up money, they're going to give it back to you, and you just pay the loan back over a period of time. Anybody with Navy Federal, there's a hack, like the secured loan hack. I don't call it hack. Not gonna say that. But if you bank with Navy Federal, for example, you can go and get like their credit builder loan. They got a secured loan program with them. I had my brother do that too. After he got the credit cards, just to build up his credit profile. You put up like $500 or $1,000 with Navy Federal for a secured loan, and you You can set up a payment plan, or you can pay it off immediately with the money that you get back from there. So you're gonna put down $500. They're gonna give you a loan of $500. So it's the same $500, pretty much. You're just gonna get that $500. You're just gonna keep that $500 to just pay off that same loan that you had did with Navy Federal. That's gonna help you build up your credit profile as well. What you could do, what a lot of people do, instead of paying off the full amount, they put like $400, so they pay off 90% of the loan, and then they just make small payments like over a year that they can build up a year of payment history. So more payment history that matters too on your credit profile. So the secured loan is gonna be closed automatically anyways. The secured card, depending on which one you get, that's gonna be upgraded to an unsecured card. Especially if you get one with Capital One and Discover, that's gonna stay open forever. Especially if you keep making the good payments on it. And the Stellify, that might be temporary. But like I don't have on my credit profile, I don't have any loans open. Loans suck. Like personal loans are shit. Whatever you can do, stay away from personal loans. I've noticed that, especially like I know the community most of y'all are from, because I'm from the same community. You don't want to get a lot of loans like for small short term like house fixer uppers or like for Christmas gifts or presents, things like that. It's just gonna mess up your DTI and your overall credit profile in the store, especially if you ever want to get a house or stuff like that. You want to make sure your credit profile is very, very good and structured properly, but to keep the debt to income ratio in mind. Because if you ever want to get a car, if you want to get a house, all that stuff is gonna matter. Okay. So then from that, yeah. Let me see. Let me answer some questions. Can you tell me why I'm always paying my Never Federal off early and not missing payments? Yeah, so because they don't increase your score. Like just paying the card and like not missing payments, that won't increase your score. You probably came in like coming over like the overall credit profile thing. Because what's going to increase your score, especially if you only have a Navy Federal card and that's it, you got to increase the total number of accounts section, and you need to increase the average age section of your credit profile. And if you got a lot of inquiries on your report too, that's going to hurt. You got to remove the inquiries. That's why. Because just paying it off. So the credit is how the credit card works, and it's how it affects your credit profile and your credit score. And if you get a credit card and you just open it, it's going to report a zero balance if you never used it. And it's going to report a new account on your credit profile, and it might lower your age if you already have another account on your credit reports. So it's going to like do all that stuff, and the math's going to calculate that. Now, let's say for 1 month, you might leave a balance on the credit card, okay? So let's say you have a limit of $1,000 and you leave a balance on there for like $300. That utilization is going to report, it's going to show you got 30% utilization, your score is going to drop if nothing else changes, okay? Now, then from there, let's say that you make a payment. Like you make the minimum payment due date. Okay, you pay the minimum payment date. The minimum payment on the due date. Let me just say that. I'm confusing myself here. I'm sorry if I'm confusing y'all. What's gonna happen is if you never spent anything else on that credit card and you make that minimum payment, it's gonna lower the balance a little bit. So your score is gonna go up a little bit right there because you're affecting the credit utilization section. Now let's say the next month that you just pay it off in full completely. Boom. You pay off the credit card in full. The credit utilization goes down to zero. Your credit score is going to shoot up because you lowered the credit utilization. Let's say that you keep making the same payments over and over and over again and nothing else changes to your credit profile. Your credit score is going to stay the same because nothing else changed. You need to add either average age or a lot more accounts to your credit reports in order to boost your score. Oh, good. Why your credit limit? Why your credit limit changed? How long have you had that card? And it's a Navy Federal card, right? Yeah, it is. So with Navy Fed, the way you boost that, Navy Federal, they like to increase credit card limits by $3,000 increments, a lot. My Navy Federal credit card, I got a $31,800 limit on my Navy Federal credit card. But when I first applied for it, I got a $23,000 limit. And I asked for an increase, and it went up to like $28,000. Then I asked for another increase. You gotta ask for a credit inquiry increase with Navy Federal. Sometimes they just increase it like randomly, but right now, given the time of the economy, you gotta ask for a credit line increase. So you can just log into the app, boom, send a message, like select like credit card, then choose credit line, credit line or credit limit increase, and then just tell them like you want to increase the limit. That's why some banks they'll do it automatically, but most of the time you want to tell them like you want to ask for like do a credit limit increase. Let me just wave at some folks. Y'all keep the questions coming, especially if you just joined late. If you joined late, I'm assuming that y'all have found me from the real. So what I've been doing, I've been going over like the credit basics, like how to build a credit profile if you're just getting started. Then also how to, if you're 17 or 18, the best steps that you should do in order to start building up your credit profile. And if you don't have any friends or family, do what you can do. Now they just say that you're tight on money. You're not making any money. What you gotta find a job. If you can't find a job, there's a lot of side hustles you can do. Each and every one of you got a talent. I don't know what your situation is, but you just have to escape. That's what I did growing up. I had to escape. I lived in like in my own head a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good bit. Now I was isolated a good bit too. Household wasn't all that great. Sometimes it was good, but not a domestic violence. Getting into sub 2, but not understanding how you take over the payment if you don't have income. Oh, the hat, sub 2. Yeah, I was like one of the first people to join sub 2, so that's why I got this hat. All right, so because you don't, so sub 2, you're not really dealing with the bank at all. I kind of just DM me. I won't go into that too in depth on this particular live, but yeah, you take over a mortgage because you're not dealing with the bank whatsoever. You're dealing with directly the seller. The debt stays in their name, but you take over title ownership of the property. You don't tell the bank that you're taking over ownership of the property. You or the seller don't, because they're going to trigger the due on sale clause. They're going to run their mouth. They want to get their money. 99% of the banks don't call it the due on sale clause because they just want to receive their funds. And like the economy is going right now, you have to buy a house, create a financial sub 2. Most of the time. But if you have good credit, it's good, still beneficial, but the interest rates right now makes housing not as affordable as it was. Prices are starting to drop a little bit. Interest rates were higher than what they were in 2020, but still lower than what they were in like 1970, like when the interest rate was like 17%. But housing prices weren't as expensive back then as they are now, so all that stuff just offset. That's just like how the economy works. But yeah, I'll probably go live again to go over that because real estate was like my first love, entrepreneurship wise. But y'all got any other questions? Because that's kind of the basics about credit, like how you can build it. I'll say this though. Whenever you're going and talking, especially if you're like 17 or 16, or if you're 16, 17, or you might be 18, still living with your parents and things of that nature. If you're living with your parents, tell them that you're building your credit, okay? And you need to explain to them that you're not going to use credit in a bad way. You're gonna just use it responsibly. You're also gonna use it I appreciate that, bro. You're gonna use it. Yeah, you're gonna use it. You're just gonna use it responsibly, and that you want to be added as an authorized user to one of their cards, especially if you know that they use it appropriately. Now, like you said, a lot of people from the hood don't know how to use credit, so I know a lot of you don't even like have that resource to go to. So you might have to go the secure route. And shit, you might not even be able to like talk to them about it because they won't understand. So you have to like be that person to break that horrible cycle, because I was that person in my family. Not still there. There's still a lot of like generational curses that needs to be broken. Like in like my family tree. But you could be that person for your family tree too. So yeah, just tell them that what you're gonna do. If you feel like you're gonna get some backlash, then you don't have to do it. Cause I know how it is. Cause I was type. I remember like being in the store in line, afraid to ask for a bar of candy, cause like we ain't got no money. Why you asking for some candy? You get yelled at, or like just be asking for stuff like Christmas gifts or none of that. You can't even talk about money, because talking about money was a sin. Because you'd be like, hey, why are you asking for some money? We don't have any money, so don't talk about it. Stuff like that. Like most of you don't know how money works. And debt and credit is just related as debt, but our credit is like fire. Okay, so fire can be used to build or it can be used to destroy. Credit, well, same thing. So shit, blah blah blah. Fire, you can use fire to like cook your food, keep you warm, even make stuff, go out on campfire, shit like that. Or it can be used to burn your house down if you use it the wrong way. Credit is the exact same way. Credit can be used to build wealth. It can be used to really take you to the next level in your life and even financially, if you know how to use it properly. But if you screw up, even like the biggest bit, then you're gonna just screw your life up. You have to file bankruptcy. I mean, that happens all the time. Like you won't be able to make ends meet. You'll be living off credit cards. So how do you don't get that way? It's by building and gaining financial literacy, and by learning and focusing on education. And when I say education, it's not school education. It's just you always being curious and wanting to learn like how to use credit properly. So you can research articles on CNBC and things like that. Because I teach people how to use it responsibly. If you got a high risk tolerance, I'm gonna teach you how to use it to make money. Pretty sure all of us here want to make money and need to make money. So it's a responsible way to use it to make money, but you gotta also learn like the tips and tricks and the tricks of the trade and the tools about how to make money by building a business, and what's the money making skill sets you need to have, and how do you spot out opportunities. A lot of times it's all mindset related too. Like even like everything in life is mindset related. Everything is. It all starts in the head first. Once you get your mindset right, everything else opens up. So yeah. Now, yeah. Anybody else got any questions? I know some of you just joined late, so I can ask like some credit building tips again. But I'm gonna share this live with y'all. Now, a lot of people's asking me to share the live. They wouldn't be able to make it and stuff like that. I think Shane was just talking about basic mortgage tips, but we were talking about buying a house up to. You don't need to go through a mortgage broker to do that. I don't know if they do spam or not. I ain't going over that. Yeah, that's it. So what over going over your family, talking to your family about it. Because a lot of times your family can steer you the wrong way. They don't know what you're trying to do. Maybe try to build credit. You just have to. Sometimes you just tell them. A lot of times too, if you are going to apply for a credit card or like secured card, credit builder products, and you're in a household where you think or know, like your family might use your car, so you go to your house, what you need to do is try to get like a P.O. box or another address to send the cards to. And you don't tell them about it, but you only use the cards to pay bills you already have. Nothing else, nothing more. Getting a credit card or any type of like financial loan or anything like that, it's not like play money or extra money. It's just used to build your credit. Maybe you just starting off. Like then once you get the habits down, then credit is used to make money. But you gotta get the habits first. Access to credit is not, it is debt, but use debt to make money. Alright? And don't tell them. Because they tell you what kind of limit you have. They might say, hey, you can use this credit card to like pay this bill for me. Or like, you can use this credit card because we got an emergency coming up. You don't use credit for emergencies whatsoever. You don't use a credit card for emergencies. If you can, if you cannot, make sure I say this right. If you can afford to, never use credit cards for emergencies. Should always save up money for emergencies. Because you use it for emergency, you probably won't be able to pay it back, and you're just gonna be stuck you'll be stuck paying back that bill over a period of time. I know a lot of times you have to do that. But if you can, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I do real estate. Man, starting back. That reel I had posted with McLean, yeah. McLean make a lot of money in real estate. Got a lot of real estate buddies. Most of the people that, well, not no more, but most of the people that were following me were real estate investors. Now I just grown to a wide range of audience, especially on Instagram. But yeah, we buy and sell houses and mobile homes and land. The pitch is pretty much we help own homeowners sell their distressed properties that's below market value and resell them and sell them to homeowners. Stuff like that. With wholesale, fix and flip, owner finance, sub 2, creative finance, novation agreements, all that stuff. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for sure. Yep. So I don't do this to sell, like I said in the beginning. Not selling nothing. Giving out valuable tips, especially for y'all that just in the building phase. Cause the internet's a dirty world. You get caught up with the wrong person. You're gonna be falling for some BS that you ain't ready for yet. You just gotta first step back, analyze what you got, your resources. You know, a lot of you don't have the right necessary tools. You don't know where to go, to know like who you trust and like which should you buy this, or do you trust this person, like what they saying, all that stuff's a lot of information out there. But you just gotta like first develop your mindset, and then eventually once you get to a point where like you got some money stacked up in your bank account, save stuff like that, you can go take a risk. Yeah, I kind of read over everything. That's pretty much all you gotta do when you start off to build your credit, get your first credit card, stuff like that. I went over how to build your credit if you're 16, 17, if you already got a credit card, how credit profile works, how to structure it. Didn't touch on business credit whatsoever because that wasn't the point of this live. I also went over like the mindset of what credit builder products you should get access to. Touched on what to do, who you can reach out to. You get access to an authorized user account. I also went over what to tell your friends and family members, or should you even tell them, and where to send your cards, like how to use it and what not to use your credit cards for. I remember that person that asked it was a really, really good question. I know you probably still not on, but bro, that was a really good question. Maybe you said what you should not use a credit for, what you should not do. Because that's just subconscious to me. I know exactly what not to do. But yeah, y'all. So nobody else got any questions. I wait like 30 seconds for somebody else to ask a question. Nobody else got any question. I'm just gonna end this live and I'm gonna post it. That way y'all can use it. You can save it, share it with any other friends that you might find useful. And yeah. This is pretty much all you gotta do starting off until you get like some money flowing in, Or if you ever feel like you're risking and ready to just take it to the next level, and you're tired of something, and you want to start thinking about doing business and stuff, or just want to go to school. If you think about going to school, just continue working and like don't want to deal with that, then you fine with that process right there. All right, y'all. Well, I'm out. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate all the questions that was being asked. I'm just after I post this, come in again for me. If you got any other questions, come in on the post. And if you need me to go live again, I will. Appreciate y'all for joining. I'm out.